We collect data on the sample frame from the census. Basically, we link the households that we go to in surveys, find out who's in the household and find out about those people, whether they respond or not. You do end up banging your head against the brick wall a lot of the time, but you can actually get there. It's if you keep on digging with your government departments, somewhere you will find somebody who's an expert on this data set.
What we found is that there's hundreds of data sources out there. Because the technology is enabling, that means even more data is being produced, and it's being produced all over the world in many different contexts, in many different projects. The changes that needs to happen in the data sharing is not just for the benefit of the researchers, it's actually for the benefit of the patients, it's benefit of who will be the patients tomorrow and who have the interest in actually the research results in the end.
I think the key thing that distinguishes administrative data perhaps from research data is the data has been collected not for research purposes. It's been collected for government departments or even companies, so it was never collected to answer a research question or to become a research database.
We are world leaders in data sharing, and we should be very proud of that, and we are in a privileged position that as researchers we can gain access to data, and we're sharing a lot more too. It really isn't about the topic necessarily. It doesn't mean that it's sensitive personal data from the Data Protection Act, but it's a very sensitive topic and they're deeply engaged with it. But the data they're getting, it might not be disclosive at all. So it's sometimes trying to say, look, we know it's a really sensitive topic, but the data are not sensitive.
Today I'm going to speak on the processes and benefits of sharing clinical data. Well, in this project we've increased the reproducibility. There was a lot greater internal peer review prior to publication, knowing that this could be scrutinised. There's ongoing peer review externally. It's now required by some journals and indeed by our funding providers. In the future, it allows other researchers to build on our work.
So we have dozens of Intermine instances that people run. Probably the biggest ones are the biomedically relevant model organism databases. So I'm going to use YeastMine to predict potential chemotherapy targets. In this example, I'm going to use a set of genes in Intermine, and I'm going to do some analysis to identify potential chemotherapy target. So we have a normal cell which has the BRCA gene, so this is the famous Angelina Jolie gene, and PARP. And then we have a tumor cell which has BRCA with a mutation and PARP. So the healthy cell lives, the tumor cell dies.
We're very, very lucky in chemistry that we have the molecule. First thing to try is to say, well, the granularity is that you're going to bundle together a bunch of data about a molecule, and then you're going to assign that a DOI. And once you have the metadata of the molecule, you can then do open searches of this data. In chemistry especially, ever since 1880 to pretty much the present, searches about molecules have often been closed and proprietary, although perhaps in the last 20 years an awful lot of it has become open.
Should all studies be pre-registered and publish pre-analysis plans?
Yes, if it's a drug which has been tested on animals, has had pilot testing in humans, and you finally want to work out whether it's effective and safe.
No. Largely because if we get to a habit where everything has to be registered, with every study you can start building very false expectations and hopes, which can really encourage researchers to try to force things.
Do we need communal repositories for early data detection?
The best people to apply highest quality metadata is the community.
How should we, in a global academic environment, how should we be funding such repositories?
I think that there's certainly potential that where the funding comes from benefits from trying to find ways to make data more usable for other projects as well, because why refund projects to collect more of the same data? And that happens all the time.